Hello, welcome back. I'm Joe, and this is the Ultimate Love Letter. I want to thank you so much for being here and for tuning in again to be fed. I want to thank you so much for engaging on the platform. Thank you for your comments, for your likes, for your subscribe. Thank you so much for sharing God's message. Thank you for sharing this podcast. It helps us to continue to spread God's love, God's wisdom, God's truth with all of the world. And the intention is really to create community, to encourage one another. The intention is to bless everyone with the beautiful knowing of their truth. So with that said, thank you so much for collaborating with me. Thank you so much for being a part of this beautiful community. Thank you for being here. So I'm going to get right into it. Today's message is everything is happening for a reason, or a better way of saying it is everything that's happening is happening for the benefit of us. Now, I love what Napoleon Hill says in Think and Grow Rich. What he says is every adversity carries with it the seed of equal or greater benefit. And that's actually biblical. And what it means is that whatever is happening, whether it's considered challenging or if it's considered a hardship, the beauty is, and the truth is, within the hardship, there is a great reward that's going to far outweigh the challenge that we find ourselves in. So let's talk about today. Where are you at today in your life? Are you finding a season of beautiful flow and ease and prosperity, and everything seems to be going according to the plan? If you're in that season today, beautiful. Rejoice. Thank God for that beautiful season. If you find yourself in a season of maybe uncertainty, chaos, hardship, I want to also say congratulations. Thank God also for that season, because within it will be a great growth spurt, a great growth spurt. Now, I know that when we find ourselves in a season of, discomfort and uncertainty, and I'm certainly in that season right now as we speak, I cling to God's truth, which is, I am building you. I am creating in you. I am ultimately giving you everything that you have prayed for, everything that you intend to grow into. God is saying right now, I am giving it to you. There is a season to go through for Him to really show you who you are, what you're made of. He already knows, but we don't necessarily know, right? And so the only way to know is through a season of hardship and discomfort and adversity, so that we can prove to ourselves who we are, so that when we're on the other side of the season of challenge, of change, of adversity, we can look back and tell ourselves, oh my goodness, I overcame that. I did that. I rode that way. Look what God did. In those moments, we're actually also stretching our trust muscles, right? If everything is always smooth and sailing according to plan, like, you're never going to see God work. How do you know that God is orchestrating those moments, which he is. You can really only see God's truth and his power and what he can do through seasons of discomfort, through the darkness. That is where God does his most powerful work. That's where his work stands out. It stands out in the darkness where it seems hopeless. It's never hopeless. If you find yourself in the darkness, just know God is setting you up for something great. He wants to show you something. And when we find ourselves on the other side of it, and we saw how we persevered, how strong we must be because we overcame it, then that serves as a testimony to everyone else. Our purpose here is really to share our testimonies, to share our gifts, to share God's truth, to share God's hope. When you go through a season of difficulties, and then you're on the other side and God brings you in people that find themselves in seasons of hardships, you're able to now minister to them, not from what the Bible just says or for what you read in other, self-help books of people who overcame it. But no, you have your personal testimony, which rings true, which resonates with everyone because you yourself went through it. You yourself overcame. God used you to touch others, will use you to touch others because as a result of your testimony, as a result of your perseverance in the darkness. That's how God works. When we're asking for a new life in a different world, we would just snap our fingers and we'd be in a different life, right? The life that we intend in our mind, the life that we're dreaming about. The beautiful thing is God doesn't work like that. He is so far beyond more creative than that. Like no transition. You don't want to go through any transition. You don't want to have fun in the journey of becoming what you are. Yeah, on the outside, we may say, yeah, I don't want that. I just want to be my highest self. I don't want to have to go through the journey. But what I have found personally is the most beautiful part of becoming who we're meant to be is the journey. It's a beautiful joyride. It's a beautiful roller coaster. And the truth is, no matter how high or how deep the dips are in life on this roller coaster ride to becoming, there is a safety net underneath us. God's hands, God's truth, God is underneath us, making sure that we will never go too far down. We will never be challenged beyond his will, right? Never. It's never going to happen. So can we learn to get comfortable in the discomfort of life and the waves that will come? Because really, it's a joyride that he's taken us on. I heard a podcaster say something a couple months back, and she said, when you're asking for a new life, don't be surprised when your old life comes tumbling down. And she says, if you're going to cry when your old life comes tumbling down, don't ask for a new life. And it just resonated so deeply because isn't that what it looks like, right? Like, if whatever it is that you're asking for right now, and if it's not where you're at, of course, right? Because you're asking for something different, it's definitely not where you're at. The only way for God to build that up for you, and I shouldn't say the only way is not accurate because he can do it in a million ways, but the way often God gives you a new life is by picking apart your old life. So when you see God removing things, just know he is adding better things in its place. It is like anything. Like if we're asking for beautiful, better quality furnishings in our home? What do we do when we get beautiful, high quality furnishings? We don't just stuff them in with the old furnishings, right? No, you have to lift up, remove the old couch, and dispose of it so that you can have room to bring in the beautiful, high quality furnishings that you now have. And the truth is, God says, whatever you're asking for that isn't aligned with His will, right? Meaning it's from your source, it's from your soul, that's in line with God's will. Whatever you're asking for, it's already done, right? It's the new furnishings outside waiting to be brought in. But He's got to make room. You've got to make room for those new furnishings. The old furnishings must go first so that we can bring in the new furnishings. When we buy new furniture and it's waiting to come in, we're not crying about, oh my God, don't take the old couch out. No, you said you wanted a new room with quality things. So the old has got to go out so that we can bring in the new. So if you find yourself in a season of discomfort, actually, whichever season that you find yourself in, just congratulate yourself. Thank God for it, please. Because God is setting you up for greatness. God is giving you all that you intend. Don't lose faith in the darkness. Rejoice in the darkness. Just like you wouldn't lose faith if you have brand new furnishings waiting outside to come in. You wouldn't lose faith if I was removing those couches. You would know, oh, I have the new couch outside on the truck waiting to come in. Just know God is doing the same thing when He is removing things that no longer serve you and attempting to bring in all that serves you, higher quality situations that serve you. That is the power of knowing that everything that is happening in our life today, no matter what it looks like on the surface, is God attempting to bring in newer, more aligned, more elevated situations. Don't fight it. And a lot of it, we can go through as much pain and discomfort or as much ease and gratitude as we allow those situations to come in. So if you're in a season of darkness now and you're grumbling about it, you're worrying about it, you're complaining to your friends and your family about it, just know you are causing more discomfort that is necessary for your life. If you find yourself in a season of darkness, like I do right now, and you are just holding the space saying, God, thank you for this darkness. You're up to something great. I got new furnishings coming in clearly. And if you can breathe through the pain, because let's get real, I know it. It's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable. Breathe through the discomfort. Thank God. Anytime your mind begins to worry, when you're in a season of uncertainty, and it will, in that moment, that is your cue to say, thank you, God. Change the script, change the dialogue immediately to thank you, God. It is true. There is no point in worrying. It does not help the situation. It is just inflicting you with unnecessary pain. Give it to God. Start right now. I don't want this pain. I don't want this discomfort. God, you got to figure it out. And the truth is, it is God's job to figure it out. It is not yours. He is telling you, you do not need to figure it out. All you need to do is trust that I have it figured out. So then why would we be worrying about it? And again, I'm living testimony to this. And I know it's in the beginning, it's easier said than done. But I have done this now for many years, and I have been kept in complete peace as a result of it. When anxiety comes in, whatever it is, I just say, you know what, God, you said that is not my job. It's your job. Thank you, God, for the answering my prayers. Thank you, God, for taking care of this. It's for you. I'm going to bed. Good night. Love ya. Thank ya. And do you know what happens? God always, hear me again, always takes care of it. Did I say always? Always. Because when you're releasing it in that fashion like that, that's trust. God's saying, oh, you gonna trust? Okay, well then shoot. Let me go on and speed this up then. And how he handles these situations is just beautiful, creative ways. It could be all of a sudden now a new inspirational thought came in and God's saying, you know what? Do that. And then as you do that one thing that God said, all of a sudden with that one thing is taken care of. That's how God works. Let him work. Let him do his job. And you go to sleep not worrying about it. Just thank him for it. You know, I always tell people, I don't ask God for anything anymore. I just thank him for everything. So whether it's I got a bill that needs to be paid and I may not have the means to pay that bill, I just say, thank you, God, for the bill paid. Thank you, God. It's not up to me. It's up to you. If I'm worrying about, the business, no, I'm not going to worry about the business. Whatever God is removing from the business or adding to the business is of his will. If you're removing from my business, I congratulate myself because that means you're going to create another way to make sure everything is happening for the best of me, to make sure all these bills are paid. Let's get real. To make sure that I'm able to go where you tell me to go when I need to be there. So if you're removing anything, okay, fine. You're still going to give to me in the way I need to be given to. You're going to provide in the ways that I need to be provided for because you provide for me perfectly. So then what am I to worry about? I don't worry about what it looks like on the surface. God, his promises are saying, I'm caring for you. Just like he's caring for the birds in the sky, he is caring for you. Let him, give him his job. Let him do his job. That is a truth of knowing everything that's happening for us or everything that's happening to us is happening for the benefit of us. Please be encouraged. Please let God do his job. Your only job is to trust that he's doing his job. Thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you for letting me get that out. I certainly was speaking to myself with that message as I'm navigating a season of discomfort at the moment. But I just thank God. That's all I do all day long. Thank you, God. Not going to worry about it. Thank you, God. Will you join me? Remove the pain, remove the anxiety from your life, and just thank you, God. And before you know it, you don't even know how you're going to be on the other side of it. Before you know it, you're on the other side, and you're like, oh my goodness, that was it? That's another thing I want to leave you with. When we're trusting God to this extent, you will find that he will cushion the blows of adversity, and that is powerful. Right? There was a time in my life where I was just succumb with worry and anxiety. And as I began to trust God and just trust him through the adversities, and then my trust muscles became stronger and stronger. Before I knew it, it's like there would be a big blow that people would consider life impacting moments. And yet somehow God just cushions that blow for me. Like my family would see adversities that I'd be in and they'd be terrified. They'd be anxious for me. And yet I'm just like, what are y'all worried about? Like, this is good. And it's kind of crazy when you think about it. It's kind of gnarly because it's like, wow, how far have I come personally that these huge adversity, these waves of change come and I'm just unmoved. Well, it's because God has cushioned those blows. They no longer affect you the way they used to because God's glory, God's peace, you're saturated in God's peace and God's glory. That's the only way I can explain it. I don't know. He cushions the adversities when you trust him. So do yourself a favor. Trust God to do his job. We should hashtag that. Trust God to do his job. But thank you again for being here. Thank you so much for allowing me to express myself. Please share this with anyone who may find themselves in any season. Good, bad, indifferent, all of it. Actually, none of it is good, bad, or indifferent. It's all just a beautiful season. Just like the trees go through seasons and they stand firm, we are one with the trees. We are created from the same essence. Just stand firm and in your truth in all the seasons and watch God work. Thank you for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed yet, allow me to encourage you to please subscribe. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for praying. I always ask if you want to hear anything that you need to hear about, please pray about it. Take it to God in prayer. But you're also joining in the magic, because if you're intending for me to discuss it, then you'll be able to see your prayer land here and be answered right here. So join me in the magic on praying on anything that you feel you need to be ministered to. And I bet you'll start to see it right here on our podcast. All right. Have a good one. Until tomorrow, we'll chat soon. Bye for now. Oh yeah, I forgot my exit. I'm learning this exit. Love yourself and love others. Be blessed.